Every lesson is a lyric in the universal song. Oh, the lessons of the journey, I'll weave them in my song.
Hello, and welcome to Lessons of the Journey, where we discuss the stuff we actually needed to learn in school with Coach Jen and Coach Nicole. We're so glad you're here with us today. Welcome to the space where we get real about the tools that actually move the needle in your life.
If this is your first time with us, welcome. You're jumping in on episode 3 of our 4 agreements deep dive. And today we're tackling one of the most common traps we all fall into, making assumptions. Me, not me. No, I never make assumptions. 25 times a day. Assumptions are the stories we create when we don't have all the facts. And wow, do they drain our energy, mess with our peace, and create distance in our relationships. Now, last week, we explored the art of not taking things personally. This week, we're zeroing in on another major source of inner and outer drama. The stories we tell ourselves without ever checking if they're true.
Oh my gosh. That's it. That's my first takeaway. We didn't even know. We just made it up.
We're going to go with the BS in our head. The tricky thing, most of us don't even realize we're doing it. Making assumptions is so automatic, it feels like fact. But really, it's our brain's way of filling in the blanks when we're faced with uncertainty. Didn't get a text back? Must be mad at us. Someone didn't say hi? Must be something we did. That quick mental leap, it starts small, but it builds resentment, tension, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress. While last week was all about building emotional resilience, this one's about creating that mental clarity, learning to pause, to ask instead of assume, to respond to reality, not the version we've made up in our heads. Because when we stop assuming and start clarifying, we open up space for connection, for honesty, for peace. And clarity is power, you guys.
Yes.
So let's get into this. The third agreement, don't make assumptions.
Oh, this one's tough. It's tough because let's face it, assuming feels protective. It's your brain's way of trying to stay ahead of danger. Your brain's way of trying to avoid embarrassment and reduce vulnerability. And it gives us a false sense of clarity. Like, if I could just guess what they're thinking, I can brace for impact. We've all been there. But here's the catch. That clarity, it's not real. It's totally made up. It's fabricated. Most assumptions are just control or your need for that. It's wearing a costume. It's not there. It's a defense mechanism we like to pretend is actually insight. We invent meaning where there is none. And then we respond to it like it's a fact. Raising my hand here, guilty on all counts. Think about it. We tell ourselves, well, if I assume the worst, I won't be disappointed. But what really happens? We feel anxious, we feel disconnected, misunderstood, and we pull away from others based on a story we never checked to see if it was real. We prep for fallout that hasn't even happened yet. We armor up for rejection that nobody even delivered. And we suffer for it. We suffer in our heads, in our relationships, and our energy. And that's why we're having this conversation today, because assumptions hijack your clarity. They blur the lines between what's real and what we just made up. And until we learn to pause and question those automatic conclusions, they will quietly run our lives. So what does this agreement really mean? Don't make assumptions doesn't mean you're not allowed to think things through. It doesn't mean you silence your intuition or ignore red flags. What it does mean is this: do not confuse your imagination with confirmation. Do not treat a mental guess as though it is concrete truth, because assumptions thrive in vague zones. Places like unanswered texts, like Nicole's talking about, unspoken expectation, unclear roles, or even silence in a conversation. Instead of pausing to check in, We overthink. Overthinker recovering right here. We also project. We fill in the blanks with our own fears. And what we don't clarify, we definitely contaminate. That's what our brains are doing. So instead of asking, we jump to conclusions. Instead of clarifying, we catastrophize. The world is coming to an end. I didn't even ask the right question. It creates distance where there could have been connection. It creates confusion where there might have been understanding, and resentment where there could have been a 5-second question. But here's the cool part. When you break the habit of assuming, you reclaim your energy. You stop trying to decode people who haven't even said a word. There's this mental gymnastics that goes on sometimes and nothing even happened. You stop responding to pain that isn't even real. You get to live in that clarity, not in a made-up story. So let's be honest. Most assumptions are fear in disguise. We're afraid to be wrong. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to disrupt the peace. So we fill in the blanks with stories that feel safer than not knowing. But they're not safer. They're just more familiar. And that's the root of so much unnecessary pain. It's not what's happening, but what we make ourselves believe is happening. The drama lives in our heads. It's not actual reality. So today we're going to pull those assumptions into light and learn how to just let them go.
That sounds wonderful. Let's do that.
How do we do it, Nicole?
How do we do it? Well, first, let's dig a little deeper. In psychology, there's a term for our craving for that quick, tidy answer, and it's called the need for cognitive closure. It's actually our brain's autopilot mode, and it's rushing to tie up loose ends and resolve uncertainty as fast as possible, even if the conclusion we land on isn't actually true. We don't really care about the truth. We just care about the speed. That's where we have a problem. So why do we do it? Because uncertainty makes us uncomfortable.
Truth.
Yep. It kicks up stress, and that stress flips on our survival brain. And that part of the brain doesn't actually care if the story is accurate. It just wants certainty now so it can feel safe again. There's a compelling 2007 study by Kruglansky and Webster that found people with a high need for closure are more likely to jump to conclusions, lean on stereotypes, and resist new information. Yikes. They don't want to stay in the discomfort of not knowing. So they grab onto the first idea that offers relief and they cling to it, even if it's wrong. Does this sound familiar?
Yes.
A friend sends you a short reply and you assume they're upset. Your boss forgets to mention your name and your brain whispers, "You blew it." Your partner seems quiet one evening and suddenly your mind is drafting a breakup speech.
I feel so called out right now.
She's like, "Stop talking to me." I'm talking to you, Jen. I'm talking to me, Nicole. I'm talking to everybody out there. But the truth is, none of it might be real. What's actually happening is your brain is taking one blurry snapshot and turning into a whole movie. And the script, it's often written by fear. Instead of checking in, we react. We act on a story that fear made up. And the price of that false certainty, it's steep. It's connection. It's peace of mind. And sometimes it's the very thing that we were trying to protect.
Knife to the heart.
Yeah. By the way, this study was called motivated closing of the mind, or seizing and freezing. How many times have we seized onto an idea and froze because we're not moving forward in what we learned?
Oh, yeah. The rumination starts, it's all up, and then we're just feeding into the same fear loop. How many times have I made a decision that was fear-based that I wouldn't have made had I taken a step back and kind of understood the entire picture?
And this is where clarity is power really comes into the equation of you've got to see what's going on. I know that my default is to seek control. If I can control, or the illusion of control, I feel like I'm okay. Yet it's an illusion 90% of the time because I'm not being clear. That's why I love clarity is power. If anybody wonders why Nicole always says clarity is power, because it's clarity. It's not the illusion of false control. It's actual and true understanding of the situation, which very few people even bother to do.
Oh gosh, isn't that the truth? Yeah, clarity is power. I picked that one up after meeting Nicole a couple of years ago. I was already in practice of the 4 agreements. You heard me say last episode, it's been 8 years that I've put these into practice. When I raise my hand and I go, yeah, talking to me, it's because I've been working on getting rid of those things because they don't serve my life. They don't serve anything that's going on in my life. So clarity really is power. Nicole brought that to me. Thank you.
I love it. I stole it from someone else, just FYI.
Yes. Okay.
It's not originally mine. What is?
Rip off and duplicate. 'Tis light. Okay, so the second insight to this is attribution theory and false beliefs. Let's talk about why we do this so often. Attribution theory tells us that as human beings, we are constantly interpreting the actions of others. But more often than not, we get it wrong. Especially when emotions are involved, when we're being hijacked and we're getting all uppity. No, we're getting it wrong. When we see behavior, we instantly try to explain it. We assign motives, emotions, or intentions. That gets you more often than not to fill in the blanks. It's like our brains are constantly playing detective, but we're actually using guesses instead of facts, like a detective would. So, take a simple moment. I'm from Southern California, road rage central. Okay. You get cut off in traffic. Your brain automatically labels the other driver as rude or reckless or a dipshit or all of the other foul language that comes out of my mouth when this happens. But actually, what if they didn't even see you? Because have you done that before? Yeah. What if they're rushing someone to the hospital? You don't know, but your brain assigns intent anyway. Y'all, I had to do this. Personal story. I used to get so pissed. What a jerk. What are you doing? Pay attention. As though I've never done it before, inadvertently. I had to follow an ambulance to a hospital one time. And can I tell you the bat out of hell driving that I was performing on the road? It took that for me to go, I literally have no idea what this person is going to. I don't know if they've got 4 cups full of Starbucks coffee that they're delivering to the office. You know, you drive different when there's an unwrapped cake in your front seat or like all of the things that we've all done. I now look at it different. Oh, they must have full coffee that they're delivering to the office. That's why they're doing what they're doing. So this snap judgment, it's called the fundamental attribution error. It's the tendency to overestimate internal causes, like someone else's character, and actually underestimate the external factors, like their exact situation. Here's the kicker. When we're under stress or feeling insecure, this tendency gets worse. Studies show that in high stress situations, we default to assigning negative intent. We default to it. We don't just assume someone is distracted. We assume they're ignoring us. We don't just think they forgot. We actually think they don't care. Gotta raise my hand again. And this is how false beliefs are born. One misunderstood action becomes a whole story. That story becomes a belief. And the belief starts shaping how we show up. Oh my gosh. We get defensive. We withdraw. We retaliate. And all based on an assumption that's probably not even real. So this attribution theory, it reminds us to pause. It reminds us to zoom out to get that 30,000 foot view, to consider that there are possibly other explanations before really locking into our first reaction. Because really, most of the time, people aren't trying to hurt us. They're just busy living their own lives. And you do it too. Reference to that, it's the processes of causal attribution. It's Kelly H.H. from 1973 in The American Psychologist.
This is so true. And I know we don't want to acknowledge this, but every time I'm in a scenario, and this is taking me until I got older, I'm just like you, Jen. I used to say all the things, all the names for all the people that drive like crap around me. By the way, everyone else drives like crap. I drive great.
Right.
Do you know, it's something like 90% of drivers assume they're better drivers than everyone else.
Yep.
By the way, only 50% of drivers can be better than than everybody else.
That's right.
Not 90%. We all think we're fantastic drivers. I've started to really play this in my head when I'm driving and somebody's doing something. I don't know. They could have a sick child in the car. I was in a car once when my son had to go number 2. I drove a little differently than I normally do.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got somebody in the car who's got to go to the bathroom. I don't know. Just give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So let's bring this down to earth with some real life moments. Let's say you're dating someone new. It's going well until suddenly their texts slow down.
Oh, no.
Your brain jumps in. You can feel this.
Yeah.
They're losing interest. I must have said something wrong. So you start to pull back. They feel that shift and think you're pulling away. So they back off too. Now, both of you are reacting to stories that never got spoken instead of just having a quick, honest check-in.
Yep.
Okay, I have to ask you guys, do you ever watch TV and you're like, just talk to each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
All these assumptions. And you're like, why are they assuming this? Conversation, get the clarity. And I'm like screaming at the screen. What is wrong with these people?
Yeah. Say the thing. Say the thing.
Seriously, where's that check-in? I guess it would be
Yeah.
drama, but we don't want drama in our own lives. So let's have that check-in. Here's another common one. You're overwhelmed and you're hoping your partner will step in and help. But you don't say anything. You just assume they should know. You know what? You know the saying about assume. It makes an ass out of you and me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. You start feeling resentful. Meanwhile, they're thinking, she's got this. If she needed help, she'd ask. No, ask.
Yeah.
Instead, this is like the no response, just that slow, silent buildup of tension on both sides. Nobody's communicating. Now you're the TV show that Nicole watches and she's screaming at the screen going, talk to each other.
Yes. This is so real life. Oh, we spend every day.
It really
They should
is.
know this. They should know this. Expecting your person inside of your house to be mind readers. How ridiculous is that?
Tim's in the kitchen more than I am. I'm the person who's going, he's got it.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask, do you need help? And then he'll go, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay, I had it right. But I do ask sometimes. All right. So let's switch to work for a second. You send a big proposal. You've put your heart into it. Days go by. No reply. What does your brain say?
Oh, I'm awful. They hated it. This was so dumb. Why did I? Yeah. All the things.
And you assume they hated it. So you don't follow up. But the truth, they haven't even looked at it yet. Maybe they're waiting on approval. Meanwhile, they think you went quiet. When you're in doubt, reach out.
Oh, that's a good rhyme. I'm going to tell my kids that one.
Thank you. When you're in doubt, reach out.
Yeah.
Just ask. What harm is there in asking?
Vulnerability. It's hard. But you know what's harder? Lack of clarity.
Having a life where you think everybody hates you
Yeah.
because you're not asking.
Yeah.
All right, here's a bonus one we've all felt. You walk into a room, someone doesn't smile, doesn't make eye contact. Instantly, what does your brain start saying to you? I don't know, they're upset with me. What did I do? What did I do? Did I do something? Oh my God, what did I do? So you steer clear the rest of the day. Later, you find out they had a migraine, or they got bad news, or they were just lost in thought. But you steered clear of them now. So what are they going to think?
Yeah.
I mean, do we create these moments or what? And you know, we all watch it on TV and we see it. But when we do it, we don't see it. Okay, time to realize we do this too.
Yeah.
Every single one of these types of moments could have gone differently with just one thing, a question, one honest ask. When in doubt, reach out. When the friend doesn't smile at you or look at you, walk over and ask the friend if they're okay. Oh no, my uncle just died yesterday. Now you can be there for someone. I didn't even see you. How are you? Whatever. Just ask the question. Have that moment of clarity. Because the real cost of assumptions, let's be honest, it's not just miscommunication. It's those missed connections.
Oh, yeah.
And they matter.
And those build up. The misconnections build up to create wedges in relationship. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we like to give you tools because it's one thing
Please.
to talk about it. It's another thing to like put it into practice in your real life. Here's a couple of tools, a few tools to stop making assumptions. So the first question, like Nicole said, when in doubt, reach out. Ask the question you're afraid to ask. You guys, this is a power move. It is super scary at first. It takes practice, but it's actually also the cleanest way to go about it. Just ask straight up. Don't tiptoe. Don't guess. Ask directly and kindly. That's it. Instead of stewing in silence or spinning into worst case scenarios, try something like, hey, I noticed a shift. Did I miss something? Or, hey, it felt like the energy changed. Are we good? It's totally vulnerable. Yes. It's totally scary at first. Yes. But you know what's crazy exhausting? Overthinking. Days and weeks of it for something that could have been cleared up in like 30 seconds. Guilty.
Yeah.
So guilty.
Yeah.
Oh man, why did I waste so much time thinking about that? That was way different than I thought. We've all been there. Another tool is actually to use neutral language to clarify. You don't have to storm in with accusations. Remember being impeccable with our words. It's not you, right? We're creating a soft language safety mechanism. It's for you and it's for the other party. So you can try saying, can I clarify something real quick? Or I just want to make sure I got that right. That's the ability to repeat back to somebody to give them the opportunity to correct something if it needs corrected. This actually works wonders in work environments and in interpersonal relationships. It lowers the emotional temperature and it signals, hey, I'm not here to blame. I'm just really here to understand. Let's do this together. And neutral language is your bridge to clarity. It invites conversation without putting people on the defensive. Because we know what happens when people go into the defense. Things don't start going well.
I love that.
Tool number 3, and this is a big one. It's a big one. We want to label the story. This is when your brain is running wild. You really have to hit the pause button and say, Brene Brown, thank you. The story I'm telling myself is, label it. That phrase is a total game changer. It creates distance between what's real and what your fear is telling you is real. Two different things. So you might say something like, the story I'm telling myself is that you're annoyed with me because you didn't respond right away. And then suddenly, instead of accusing, you're inviting clarification. You're making space for a different truth. And really, it probably is a different truth. Naming the story out loud is how you take your brain out of autopilot. It turns internal chaos into external clarity. Doesn't that just sound better? Tool number 4, fact check. Okay, there's so much a part of my logic-loving brain. This one is it. When your brain is spiraling, stop and write it out. It's like our old T-shaped column here, pros and cons. One column, what you know for sure. List it out. Other column, what do I not know for sure? What am I assuming in this scenario? You will probably find that the facts column is very short, but the assumptions column, pages. And that gap right there, that's your trigger zone. That's what's causing all the trouble there. You're fact checking. It's not about denying your emotions because we have feelings after we have thoughts. It's actually about anchoring back into reality. When you actually can see the story on paper, you realize how much you filled in on your own. And, we love our awareness. That's where your choice lives. You can choose to stay in the story, or you can choose to ask the questions and seek the truth.
Those are great. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about insights. This is insight number 3, the cost of assumptions in communication. We want to shift gears and talk about how this plays out at work, because assumptions don't just damage relationships. They cost businesses time, money, and trust.
Ooh, that's the truth.
A Harvard Business Review report found that 57% of communication breakdowns in the workplace aren't caused by actual disagreements. They're caused by unspoken assumptions. More than half of workplace tension isn't actually about conflict. It's about people not being on the same page and not realizing it.
Ah,
That's crazy. People assume they were clear, but they weren't. They assume others understood the timeline or the task, but no one confirmed. They assume silence means agreement, but silence can just as easily mean confusion, hesitation, or even quiet resistance.
ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the first one to raise their hand and say, I have no idea what you just said. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. Or say, I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes sense. They're just going to say it in their head. And when no one checks in, so the deadlines slip, the tension builds, accountability fades. Then comes the spiral. What's in the spiral? Blame, defensiveness, disengagement, all because a simple clarifying question never got asked. And this isn't just a leadership problem. It shows up in peer conversations, email threads, families. It's everywhere. Assumptions create friction where collaboration should live.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use the word should here.
Yeah, we're judging.
We're judging. Yeah. We want collaboration, not assumptions. That is such a great alternative. So if you lead a team, work on a team, or function in any group setting, including a family,
Yeah.
this matters because clarity isn't just a communication skill, it's culture. And assumptions, they erode that culture fast.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this came from The Cost of Poor Communication in 2016, done by HBR. Yeah, Harvard.
Love that you said that it's culture, because it really is in the workplace or in a family. It's the trust. It goes away. That is, oh, wow.
Clarity equals culture.
Ooh. Okay. Well, so this stuff is hard. It's hard to not make assumptions. Our brains are wired for it. It's safety. It feels like safety. Let's talk about what happens when we do it, because we all slip into it. And shoot, if you're not practicing it, you're actually practicing assuming instead of practicing not assuming. So you're not slipping into it. You're just jumping right in with a cannonball. But now that we have this awareness, let's talk about what happens when it does. Okay, first of all, we're all human. We get it. The brain will always reach for story in the absence of information. So when you catch yourself assuming, don't shame it, name it. I love these rhymes today. Literally, pause and say to yourself, I'm noticing that I'm assuming right now. This one line creates a break in the pattern. It shifts you out of your autopilot and it gives you space to make a new or different choice. Then comes the next step. Ask the question. Then when you get an answer, clarify the answer and continue to stay curious. We want to be choosing connection over just getting to the end of it. Conclusion doesn't mean connection. The goal isn't to never assume again, because obviously that's unrealistic. The goal here is to stop treating your assumptions as though they're actual truth. The goal is to stop letting unverified stories run your life, your relationships, and your responses, because that pause and that curiosity, that's real power.
I think it's valuable to point out that we are wired this way.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because we're still wired to make a quick judgment as we're out in nature trying to survive as a cave woman man. And we see that animal and we have to make an immediate judgment of whether that's safety or not. So this is your body's way of really keeping you safe, yet it no longer serves. But evolutionary, I don't think we've changed. I don't have the studies on that, but I'm going to make an assumption. See what I did there?
An
educated assumption. Yeah, my opinion is that we have not evolved out of that yet. So we then have to change that wiring that is automated within our brains that considers it a way of keeping us safe. And you said, Jen, don't shame it. We can't shame ourselves for doing something that was meant to keep us safe.
Yeah.
I love that you said name it, because now we can say to yourself, thank you for keeping me safe. I no longer need that. It no longer serves me.
Yes. Oh gosh, that's so powerful.
Yeah, acknowledge that.
We're working the agreements at that point. I love that you said this. Now we are replacing an old agreement with a new agreement.
Yes.
And what we know about these things that we are programmed to do is that you can't just drop a habit without replacing it with a new one. We all like to think, oh, I'm just going to drop a habit and then that will be it forever. No. You actually have to then replace it with something. So if you know that something is not serving you, you have to decide what is going to serve you and literally replace the agreement and move forward with the new one in practice. And can I tell you that this agreement has changed my life? It has changed my life. And that's a big statement. Like, okay, Jen, it has changed my life in that, that ever ruminating, oh God, this, or oh God, this emotional energy that goes out for something that isn't even real. When I figured this out and I learned how to hit the pause button and go, okay, what don't I know here? Oh my gosh, literally life-changing. And I don't say that lightly. I say that because it's changed the trajectory of my interpersonal relationships, of my friendships, of my relationship with my children, of my relationship with my parents, everywhere. And I'm a coach now. So the practice of this one agreement allows me to serve other people because I stay in the curiosity. I cannot assume that I know anything about anybody else going on, my clients, but even inside of my own house, just because we all woke up together. I cannot make that assumption.
Let's talk for a moment about what happens when somebody assumes what you meant and gets it wrong, or assumes something about you and gets it wrong. How do you feel?
Oh, awful.
Yeah, it's terrible to be misinterpreted or misread. And often these misreads are because of something simple.
Mm-hmm.
And had the person just asked, we would have that clarity versus having this situation where you're assuming that I did X. I didn't even do anything to make you assume X.
Yeah.
I didn't show up at 100% for you in the moment. And suddenly you're assuming there's something wrong with our relationship.
Yeah.
That's hard to be the person who's being assumed upon as well. So now we have this like, oh, if we don't do everything exactly, then somebody's going to assume what we're doing. But we do it to others all the time.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. What really has helped me is to stop and go, have I ever been lost in thought and literally didn't see somebody walk 3 feet in front of me? Right. Have I ever been daydreaming and didn't hear somebody call out my name? Have I ever gotten distracted with the kids and forgot to hit the send button on the text almost every day? Honestly, if you can go, what is any other possible option here?
Yeah.
More than likely, there's an example of those assumptions. I get it. We are trying to keep ourselves safe and it's not serving us. So the ability to understand that, okay, like what Nicole said, I get where it comes from. And let's go ahead and switch that one up because it's really not doing anything for me. Also, don't we love clarity from other people? Don't we really want to know all of the things? It's like the greatest thing. If you really love to talk, if you really love to know the innards of things, this is your favorite agreement right here.
It is such a, I want to say dichotomy. I don't know if that's the correct word, that we make assumptions about others, but we don't want assumptions made about ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know we said this in the previous episode, give people grace.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we constantly asking others to give us grace, but not giving others grace? And when you make assumptions, you're not giving grace.
Yeah.
If your assumptions are, they don't like me anymore, what happened? The negative thoughts, the ruminations that happen in your head, those are not giving grace to that person.
Okay, it still happens. 8 years in practice, it still happens. And when it happens for me, it's still very uncomfortable. And only because I've made the practice of, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is the way that I'm going to go ahead and practice. So when it does happen, first off, I'm a little surprised. I'm going, oh, I'm experiencing some distaste inside of my body right now. What is happening? I'm allowing a story to create itself now because I've been practicing it for so long. I'm like physically repulsed by these. Like this is how much practice it takes to get there. Then because I cannot physically handle it anymore, I'm almost required by my body to go and figure out what is happening. A real life example. I was on a meeting with 35 other people. Everybody's on Zoom. I'm talking because I'm the coach in the room, and there's 2 girls on the same screen in another location. Everybody's silenced, and I can see these 2 girls with their mouths moving, talking. One giggles, and here I am going, oh God, do I look funny today? What did I say? Did I say that wrong? Do they think that I'm weird? Like, odd. I teach this shit, and I start questioning myself. Is it, do I look funny? Did I say something wrong? And now I'm spiraling, and I have no idea what was said over there. Maybe somebody had a booger across the way that was off screen, and I had no idea, and that's going to garner a giggle from anyone. And here I am taking it personally and assuming that everything's about me in this moment. And I really have to walk myself back. Jen, get over yourself. Anything could be happening right now. And if it really, really is killing you, go directly to the source. Hey, I noticed that there was some laughter on that side. I'm really freaking out. I say this now because I'm like unafraid of all the things. Did I say something stupid, or do I need to clarify anything that maybe might have been misrepresented or misunderstood? And guaranteed, what? No, so-and-so had a booger. It was hilarious. And you're like, oh, okay, thanks. Because I wasn't going to sleep tonight thinking about all of this. Yeah.
So true. Yeah. We have to give people grace and the benefit of the doubt. And we tend to not be very good at that.
Mm-mm. Practice. Everything in practice.
Yeah. This is such good stuff. All right. Let's do some takeaways.
Takeaways. Okay. I like the rhymes today. I really do, because they're easy to remember. You know, they stay quick on the brain. Don't shame it, name it.
Yep.
What'd you say?
When in doubt, reach out.
Ugh. That's it. When in doubt, reach out. That does it for me.
Yeah. I love that. I would go with, I like that clarity. It can be a culture, obviously, because I'm such a massive clarity person. It is a culture. Clarity is a culture. When you're clear about things, it becomes a culture that you live in, or that you work in, or that you have your friendships in. I love that. The other one was the fact checking, to make a list. Yeah. Are you kidding me? It was right up my alley. That's so good. And I didn't realize this all comes from me needing to control. I mean, from control. I didn't say me needing. Yeah, this is absolutely 100%. The reason that I assume is because I need to control the situation. It was funny because when you were talking about the fear, I thought, I don't really have fear around this. And I had to check myself, because I have to check myself all the time, because this is literally what we do for a living. So we have to go in and go, wait, there might be a fear there. Fear, I might be wrong. Being wrong is a big thing for me. I don't like to be wrong, and I'm embracing it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a childhood thing or what happened, but I had this fear of, if you're wrong, then you don't have that value piece. It's this weird tied thing that I've been working with through my adulthood. And I think that's where my fear comes in. Well, if I double check with you and then you tell me something else other than what I've assumed, then I'm going to be wrong. Mm-hmm. And is wrong okay? And then I have to continually tell myself, wrong is just another opportunity to learn.
Yes.
Embracing being wrong in this is what I have to do.
I love the tie-ins, though, because we've had so many episodes talking about how failure is not innately an awful thing. And this is what asking the questions is. Being wrong, Nicole, allows you to fail forward. It allows more clarity. It allows, right? Because if we knew everything, God, how boring would that be? Also, though, I would like to point out that when we are able to practice this on a regular and we show up in this way, it then teaches the people around us how to show up in our lives as well. Which, when we talk about really true power and creating our reality, when we are showing up and exhibiting the way that we want to be and how we expect others to be with us, when I say life-changing, you've heard me say it too much, so now it's diluted. It really, truly is, because it shifts everything in your favor. People start showing up for you this way. You start creating more interesting relationships. It's really a fascinating thing. You know, as a coach, we have our favorite questions. Very often I'll say, you know, in the kinesthetic sense, if somebody is like, oh, I can see myself. One of my favorite questions is, well, how do you see that working? Or how do you see that happening? I don't even have to ask the question to some people anymore. Somebody will say, oh, well, I think da 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 da. And the way I see this happening, Jen, is, you know, and so great, cool. I've gotten you there. And then the hope is that they will then use it in their lives. So it's really this like emanating effort that if you can look at it yourself and you can help other people in that, it changes your whole reality. I think that's so spectacular. It's incredible. I have no words. Where's the dictionary? All of them.
Yeah, it's true. And you do model behaviors. If you model a behavior, people around you will pick up on the behavior, especially children. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh, P.S. When your 3-year-old brings home a picture, don't assume that you know what it is. Wow, babe, that's a really cool rocket ship. That's a banana.
I'm like, I love your penis on a skateboard. Yeah. I was brought home once a penis on a skateboard. I showed it to like 5 people. I'm like, what is this? They're like a penis on a skateboard. There was no question. My son was like 6. He didn't draw a penis on a skateboard. So yes, tell me what these are. Show me
about your artwork. What was inspirational here?
There you go.
That's a side note for all you.
Fantastic advice. If you take nothing else, take that.
Okay, questions.
Let's do it.
I'll go first. This is inspired from my kids' Would You Rather.
Oh, I have that book in my kitchen right now.
Yes. Do you have the 5-year-old version of
I don't know which version I have, but she used to try and play without the book. I'm really glad she has the book because she's 8 and she would make up we need extra clarity. Yes. And I'm like, wait, why would I? Oh no, this is this. And she would change the story. It's kind of like when you play games with little ones. They change the rules.
It's fine. But this one came up last night. So if aliens landed in your backyard tonight, and offered to take you with them, would you go? And why or why not?
Is it permanent or temporary?
See, it's not we're not going there.
No.
No.
If it was temporary, I would go, but I don't want to leave my life. I love my life. I love where I'm at, especially in my backyard. Like, this is my space. This is my family. I would never. No.
Got it.
Not in a million years. Now, if it was a vacation with an alien, oh, hell yes. Nicole be like, I can see another planet? Yes. Are you kidding me? I want to see all these countries on our planet. You're going to show me another planet? Yes, please. Yeah. And the galaxy? Oh, in a heartbeat. And if they were like, we're going to take you for 6 months, I'd probably say yes to that.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
I would need to lay out some ground rules. Are you going to be probing?
Oh, if there was probing, no, we're not doing that.
What kind of crazy experiment?
This podcast is about to go the wrong direction.
Okay.
Oh,
Nicole's going on vacation with aliens. Got it.
That I would do. Okay. Oh, well, and can Tim go? That's always the question.
Yeah. Okay.
Can Tim come? Okay. Then, yeah, I'd go for 6 months. All right. That's an interesting question. Okay. Here's my question for you, Jen. Mm-hmm. Have you ever saved the life of an animal that was not a pet?
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time. When I was growing up, we lived kind of next to a canyon. And also we had pillars in front of our house that birds would make nests in. Mm-hmm. And on occasion, a nest would a cat would maybe swipe it off. So we had baby wild birds in boxes that we would drop our sugar water into and raise them. And what I never learned was, once they learn how to fly, I didn't teach them how to fly. It's innate. That box lid has to be closed. So keeping it in your bedroom, because I don't know if y'all know this, birds, when they fly, they just shit. It just goes. They don't go find a place like a cat or a dog. They just let it go. So if that box is open and your little baby bird that you were nursing back to health decided it was going to fly today, there's bird shit everywhere in your room, everywhere. And so parents, if you're helping your kids save baby birds, keep the lid on. That's all I have to say about that.
That's an awesome answer. Oh my gosh. We got into bird poop. Oh goodness. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you or you thought of someone who might need to hear it, send it their way. And don't make it a passive aggressive send, by the way. Hey, you need this lesson. Those that assume what's going on with me all the time.
Yep.
And if you haven't already, make sure to like, follow, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube at Lessons of the Journey. We've got more good stuff coming your way. So here's your call to action, your challenge for the week. Catch one assumption a day. Just one. That shouldn't be hard. I have like 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 100. Who knows? When you notice it, pause, name it. Am I assuming? I'm assuming. Yeah. Then ask the question instead. You deserve clarity, not a story your brain made up. What is real here? Yes. And real connection, it lives on the other side of curiosity. Next time, we're going to wrap up our 4 agreement series with one of the most powerful and freeing of them all. Always do your best.
Yeah.
Always. Until then, ask, don't assume, and protect your peace.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Write your lines with passion.